dear Toastmasters, guests, and friends, welcome to the world's biggest platform to hone your leadership skills and communication skills. That is Toastmasters. Toastmasters, we pride in calling where leaders are made, not just leaders, confident leaders, not just speakers, confident speakers. And my guest tonight is one such confident leader and a speaker, our immediate past district director, fellow proudful member of Norwood Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Trevor is our guest on our talk show. Toastmaster Trevor, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Vera. How are you?
I am doing good, Toastmaster Trevor. Thanks a lot for coming on our talk show. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to come down and talk to us. So thank you. Toastmaster Trevor, I asked this one question to all my guests. Your Toastmasters journey. Where did it start? How did it start? Would you like to talk about that?
Sure. Thanks for the question. I started off, I've worked at Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, which is an educational publishing company, for 15 plus years now. And I like to go to all the events going on where they're offering free food to get you to go in there. This is something that especially happened before this pandemic changed the way we work. There were events all over the place in the office where there was free food. And one such event in the boardroom took me in to sit up against the wall and then watch these people getting up there and speaking in front of the group, giving speeches that they either planned or that they were doing off the cuff, evaluating each other. And the pizza was good, but this was very scary to me. But I got up there, I gave one of the topics a try, and then when they passed around the sign-up sheet, I put my name on there against my own self-preservation instincts, and I kept coming back, and then I got hooked into this thing. And I was one of the first charter members of this Toastmasters club that started where I worked. The club is unfortunately no longer there. It folded just before COVID, but shout out Curious Toasters and all my friends at Toastmasters at HMH. I got started at work, and then from there I branched out and met Toastmasters all across Massachusetts and joined other clubs and have been in there since. This was 2014, so it's been almost 10 years ago now.
Amazing journey, Toastmaster Trevor, 10 years with Toastmasters. Now, my next question is, there's a reason why you joined Toastmasters, but 10 years, what keeps you going at Toastmasters? Every single month you practice your speech at Norwood Toastmasters. What is the fire that still keeps you at Toastmasters?
Right. I mean, when you first join, you are growing a lot as far as the confidence aspect. You're getting over that feeling of being scared in front of a group. And now I don't particularly have that feeling anymore. But I keep coming back after 10 years. What am I still doing here? And at some stages, it does feel like it is continuing to grow and continuing to practice. But I find that growth in your skills is also not linear. So that's not always why I'm going to meetings every other week or every week. Sometimes it'll feel like I'm growing, improving a lot. Other times it'll feel like I'm kind of leveled out before I rise up off another plateau. I think what ultimately keeps me going every week, even when I'm not feeling like I'm growing, even if I'm feeling a little bit burned out with life or responsibilities, Toastmasters on top of home life, on top of work, is the other people. It's always exciting to see someone else going up and giving an icebreaker for the first time. It's always a delight to hear a new aspect of somebody that you've been going to these meetings with for weeks or years, and you learn something new about them in table topics, or when you're seeing an evaluation and somebody makes an incredibly insightful point that you didn't think of when you were watching a speaker. It's those little moments from everybody else in this organization that keep me going, and being a member of Toastmasters and the clubs that I'm in today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Trevor. The camaraderie at Toastmasters is so beautiful. We all like to come for that. Toastmaster Trevor, you've been a district leader for the past 6 years. And how have you managed your work life, professional life, Toastmasters life? Everyone has 24 hours, but it seems that you have 48 hours in a day. How did you manage the last 6 years?
Well, thankfully, I have an incredibly understanding family and an incredibly understanding work situation where I had the privilege to be able to do a little bit of Toastmasters during the day, do a little bit of Toastmasters in the evenings, and take away from some of that time that I could be spending on other things, making it all fit. And I think part of the process of district leadership as well, and part of the process of the 6-year journey that you end up on when you work your way up from these roles that I've in, area director, division director, club growth director, program quality director, and then district director. And now this year, immediate past district director, where you still have some responsibility. That's part of the learning that you do in this organization. You start off with a smaller role. You start off with these leadership roles at the club level, and then smaller roles at the district level. And you start to learn how to organize your time and fit these things in, so that by the time you get to one of these roles that feels, looking from the outside in, very overwhelming, you've had the framework put in place by your Toastmasters journey before then to not come into it completely unprepared. That isn't to say that you can be prepared for anything. There's a lot of unexpected things, to say the least, that happened in my Toastmasters journey. But I think that there's a lot of preparation that helps you, deal with these unexpected things that are going to happen in a way that isn't just running over and crying against a wall. It's allowing you to have a productive outcomes when something crazy happens.
Thank you, Toastmaster Trevor. And you were the leader when the most craziest thing happened, when we had to go to lockdown. So really, thank you for all the hard work that you have done and where you have taken the district. So really, thank you for all of your services. Toastmaster Trevor, now I will shift gears and ask you the impact of Toastmasters on your personal life, professional life, social life, spiritual life. Any example that comes to mind, Toastmaster Trevor?
Well, I have that story about joining Toastmasters where, it was going in, finding pizza in a boardroom. It sounds like a lot of fun. But this was 2014 when I first joined. My dad passed away in 2013. And I think I was kind of looking for outlets in a way as part of that process of grief and getting over things. And that Toastmasters really did help kind of build my confidence and build my kind of emotional structure back up after I lost my father, and immediately before I was going to get married. I joined Toastmasters actually in April of 2014, and I got married in May of 2014. So I joined immediately before I got married. So I don't think I had enough time to really feel prepared for a wedding speech, but just to have those moments of the pre-charter Toastmasters and then the little window right before the wedding to get some of the nerves out of the way and build my communications, I think did help feel confident at my wedding. And so there's all these moments across my life where I've kind of managed to incorporate what I've learned in Toastmasters to be a better person or feel more confident around other people in my life. And I think going to social events throughout, I feel much more confident just making small talk with people, because Toastmasters is an avenue just to practice small talk. And believe me, I was not very good at small talk. I was much better at getting up on a stage and hamming it up than I was at just talking to people in a social setting. And I think that has helped me a lot with Toastmasters. And even recently, when we've gone through this whole experience with the transition in COVID and we had online meetings, I think that me, like a lot of us, were kind of in the stage of grieving for the life that we used to have, even if it was hectic going into the office every single day, running around to do Toastmasters events all across Massachusetts and Rhode Island. All of a sudden that's gone, and you kind of feel this emptiness, and you're lost, and you're in your house with just your wife and your 5-year-old at the time daughter. And Toastmasters really gave me an opportunity to still have adult conversations with people, still connect with people while this was all going on. And thankfully we did offer these, had all these online meetings, which now we're all tired of online meetings, but they were such a blessing during that time period that helped you get through it and then see the light on the other side, where we're coming to now accept this stage of grief. We're finally to the acceptance of the new life that we have. And I think Toastmasters has really helped me spiritually process all along the journey, as kind of this granite rock to stand on and to remain connected with other people.
Thank you, Toastmaster Trevor. I think that is so impactful, the impact of Toastmasters on your personal life. Thank you for sharing those stories. Toastmaster Trevor, for guests watching our talk show, what would you say 1 or 2 reasons why should they join Toastmasters?
I think just finding yourself is the main reason, that the main thing I've gotten out of Toastmasters, and it's a major reason why I think anyone can benefit from Toastmasters, whatever your skill level is as a speaker. I think that there are opportunities to find yourself as an interpersonal communicator, as a communicator in front of a group, sharing big ideas, as a leader in an organization. You can really find out a lot about yourself that you didn't know before by pushing yourself in these avenues using Toastmasters. So maybe joining is the first step to push yourself just to get in front of the room. But even if getting in front of the room isn't scary, there's always something else in this organization. There's always another level where you can find that moment where you can push yourself. So even if you aren't scared of talking in front of people, you can come into a room and you can find your ability to coach other people, to help other people grow, to help lead at a high level, to help improve your time management skills. There's something to help you realize your potential and to find yourself in this organization.
Well put, Toastmaster Trevor. There's something for everyone, and you can find your authentic self at Toastmasters. Well put. Toastmaster Trevor, now we move to our 4th segment, which is our rapid fire round. Are you ready for some fun?
Yeah, we'll see how fun it is.
Toastmaster Trevor, a historic leader that inspires you a lot. Any leader that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I've actually always been a big fan of Robert F. Kennedy. JFK is the famous president. Robert F. Kennedy was his younger brother, and who ran for president later and then was himself assassinated. And I think that he in part inspires me because of the political beliefs and the things that he was saying when he was assassinated in 1968. But also I think what inspires me about him, as opposed to a lot of historic leaders, is his ability to learn and grow from different experiences over his political journey. I think in 7 years, he kind of went from this sort of like harsh, tough on crime AG to this kind of progressive icon. And I think that a lot of his experiences spoke to that and led to him to take this journey of growth to become this figure that I admire so much. And I think those journeys of growth are inspirational to me, to feel like, hey, we can change, we can learn even at the highest levels and become a better version of ourselves.
Amazing choice, Toastmaster Trevor. A historic speech that inspires you a lot. Any speech that you like to share, Toastmaster Trevor?
I don't have a particular speech that I admire. I did pick one of, back in the old Toastmasters program, I did pick one of Robert F. Kennedy's speeches to give in the, I think it was a manual called Interpretive Reading that was part of the old Advanced Communicator series. And I delivered one of his speeches. And honestly, if you want to talk about things to push yourself in the organization, try giving somebody else's speech and trying to emulate that and make it yourself. It was probably one of the hardest projects I've ever done because you get so confident saying your own words, like trying to get up there and say somebody else's words and do it effectively and convey the same spirit to it. It's a whole nother skill set.
Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Trevor. Toastmaster Trevor, a book that you like to recommend to our Toastmasters?
You know, I have one. I'll show it to you. This may seem weird. All right. It's a book called Antarctica by Gabrielle Walker. And honestly, this is one of the best things that I've read in the last 10, 15 years. It's a review of just the history and the science of the continent of Antarctica, which may not seem very interesting on its surface, but I found everything in there was incredibly interesting about this unique and bizarre continent that we often forget about. And I think this is one of the best things you can do as a reader is to find something, just pick up a book about something that you know nothing about and start flipping through the beginning and see if it hooks you. Because I wouldn't have found this book if it wasn't published by HMH, the company I work for. And I picked it up at work and I started flipping through and got sucked into it. And I encourage you to just go to a bookstore and try doing the same and flipping through random books until you find some book that sucks you in and learn about that topic. Because I feel like it really adds to your life to be able to tell stories about this different thing and add a new interest to your life. And if nothing else, it makes for a great speech topic to share with your Toastmasters club.
Amazing technique as well, Toastmaster Trevor, to just be more diverse so that we keep our appetite for reading as fresh and as lively as you rightly put. Speaking of appetite, Toastmaster Trevor, any food that is very close to your palate, that is your go-to food?
I end up liking a lot of like spicy chicken dishes, which I know is it feels very typical, particularly for like, you know, you're a 40-year-old guy, like, oh, I like the spicy chicken dish. So it's like, oh, I'll go to the Chinese restaurant and order the General Gao's chicken, or I'll go to the Indian restaurant and order the chicken tikka masala. All these, you know, dishes that were actually invented in England or America of these cuisines. But hey, it makes me happy. I like those things, so I'll keep eating them.
Amazing choice. A restaurant that you like to enjoy your food with friends and family? Any restaurant, Toastmaster Trevor?
Yeah, there's a lot of great restaurants in the area here, and I live in Walpole. And my daughter's favorite restaurant of all places to go to is Napper Tandy's, which is an Irish pub. And the food there is all right. She likes the kids menu there and the crayons that they give out. I love some of we have some great Indian restaurants within driving distance that my wife and I love, like the Coriander Bistro in Sharon is a great place to go. And they have a great pizza place in town that does like a pub style pizza called Crisp. And that's in downtown Walpole. If you want to swing by and get some Crisp and, you know, get in touch with me, I'll come hang out at Crisp with you.
Absolutely amazing choice there, Toastmaster Trevor. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you like to share with our district that I have not yet asked, Toastmaster Trevor?
Yeah, this is, you know, as I was introduced at the start, I'm still immediate past district director at the time of this interview, but that journey is coming to an end. I'll just be one of many past district directors. And so where do I go from here? And where would you go at the end of whatever goal or journey you're set yourself on? I'm planning on just getting out there, giving speeches and getting involved in some specific projects that are of a benefit to Toastmasters around me, to my Toastmasters clubs. And I encourage everyone to look for something new. I'm not just stopping at the end of this journey. I'm going to be president of one of my clubs next year. I'm going to be vice president of education for the other one. I'm going to be doing work for the district in some capacity, probably as a chair of a committee. And I'm going to be looking out for any opportunities beyond that, stay involved and just keep pushing myself and keep growing, looking for those moments where I can stretch myself. So I really just want to reiterate that to everyone here. Look for those opportunities for yourself, look for those opportunities to improve and enjoy all the two mediums that Toastmasters now has to offer. I'm a member of both Norwood Toastmasters, as Vera mentioned, which is we largely meet in person. We offer hybrid attendance, but almost everyone's there in person. But also a member of a purely online lunchtime club, Copley Square Toastmasters, and I thoroughly enjoy having both experiences. And I encourage you to consider joining more than one club to diversify the things that you're learning. If you're only in an online club, look for something in person. That's a truly incredible experience. If you've only ever done online, which I think a lot of people in our district have only been online still to this day. So look for something in person. And if you are in that club that's returned to in person, don't completely throw away the benefit of connecting with people online. I think that there are some great online clubs out there, and you should take advantage of that medium to diversify your growth experience in the organization. Keep looking for those opportunities.
That's wonderfully said, Toastmaster Trevor. Make the most of what Toastmaster has to provide, virtual, in person. I think that's a great advice, Toastmaster Trevor. Toastmaster Trevor, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to come down and talk to us. It was an honor talking with you. Thank you, Toastmaster Trevor.
Thank you, Vera. It's great talking with you.
Thank you, dear Toastmasters. That wraps up our episode. If you would like to feature on our talk show, please do mention your name in our comment section. Please do consider supporting our district by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. On that note, have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you on our next episode. Bye-bye.